What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about doing a custom sight tape for your slider sight. As you know, I've been tinkering with the CBE Trek Pro 3V. Got it dialed in the other day, or at least I thought I did, and started shooting my sight tape, and once I got to about 80 and 90 yards, it was a few yards off. And when I mean a few yards, I mean about 5 yards off. And so I tinkered with it, and I found a different sight tape that was about 2 to 3 yards off. And then I got one that was good to 90, and then 100 and further it was off a couple more yards. And so I kind of came up with the conclusion that those sight tapes are great for hunting scenarios. Probably during hunting season I'll probably switch back to the metal sight tapes just because of the longevity of them, but and that the fact that I'm probably not shooting a deer past 60 yards. And so what I came across, and I actually saw it in Tim Connor's video, him and MFJJ were setting his bow up, and it's precision cut archery. And basically you go in and type in some information about your bow and what arrow you're shooting and whatnot, and then you go out and you can shoot it with either 2 or 3 distances, or there's another way to do it. But to me, so far the best way to do it is just to shoot and get 2 or 3 set marks, and then you got to go in and do some measurements on that. But I just want to talk to you about how simple it's been to use. Basically, things you're going to need is a tape measure and some kind of writing utensil and some notebook paper or whatever you want to write on, and a draw board, or you can have somebody measure all this stuff while you're at full draw. And so the couple measurements that you need while the bow is drawn is from the middle of your arrow to the middle of your peep. You're going to want to measure that. And then you're going to measure from your pin to the middle of your peep. And so with that 3V sight, the bottom pin is actually closer to my peep sight than the top pin. But I'm not using that as my floater, so therefore whenever I did it, I measured from my top pin to my peep sight. And so once you get that information, you go plug it in, and then it's going to ask you some information about your arrow, what type of arrow you're shooting, and then you got to do the weight of the arrow. And then once you do that, so you're going to need some kind of scale to weigh your arrow. You get that, then you're going to go out in the yard and shoot, or wherever you shoot at. And so what I did the first time is I did 20 or 30, 60, 90. And then that sight tape was off by a couple yards. And so I redid it yesterday and shot 40, 80, no, 40, 70, 100. And we're going to spit those sight tapes out this evening and go try to dial those in. But I just want to take you through another thing that would be great to have is a caliper. You can obviously measure all this with a tape measure if you want, but a caliper, whenever you're measuring, once you get those distances, if you shoot 2, then you're only going to measure between the first and second mark. But if you shoot 3, you're going to measure between the first and second mark and the first and third mark. Type those in, and then it's going to spit out you a sight tape. What's really cool is, like, for example, if you were going to go out west, you could type in the weather and like the elevation and the pressure and the temperature of what you think you're going to be in, and it'll re-spit out the sight tape to where you're dialed in for out west. You know, everything changes with elevation, and so this, you know, very detailed oriented. It's pretty sweet, so make sure you go in and check out Precision Cut Archery. Alright, so you're going to go to precisioncutarchery.com, and you can do a free trial, or it's $20 for the year. And so there I have you're going to come in and you'll just do my setup, and you'll basically go in and just name it whatever, and then it'll ask you what sight you have, and you'll do that. And then let me adjust this a little bit better for you. And so you type in that information, and then it is peep height, which is when you measure from your middle of your arrow to the middle of your peep when it's at full draw. And then this is from your pin to your peep, the middle of your peep, whenever the bow is at full draw. So that's why I say a draw board is best, but you can have somebody do it for you while you're at full draw. Then you go in and you name your arrow, whatever you want to do it. You got to weigh it. I sighted in at 3 marks. This is my density altitude. So what you can do is just go in and type in the information of where you're at, and it'll give you, it'll spit out your density, your calculated density altitude. Then you can do launch speed plus sight marks, 3 sight marks, or quick start. I did 3 sight marks, 40, 70, 100. I measured with a caliper, or you can use a calibration tape. And then you put the distance between those, and you click update sight in. Then you're going to come over here to the left, and you're going to click sight tapes. And now for my arrow, do that. You click compute marks, and there is your sight tape right there, ready to print out. But what's cool about it is you can come in here to sight settings, and you, if you're a lefty or a righty, you can change the alignment of the sight and the sight marks. But since I'm right-handed, I'm going to keep mine to the left. Then you can adjust how long and how wide it is, how much slack or margin you have at the top. You can adjust the text, the color of it. Obviously I asked for it to label the top mark. You can make it have the first digit or not. Then I added my mark 1027 to the bottom of it, just to add a little customization. You can adjust the line weight. What I think is really cool is you can adjust the colors of the line. And so I did my even marks 20, 30, 40, 60 anyways out to made them red. And then I did my 5s green and everything in between black. And then when you can click print, you'll click download PDF, and it'll pop up. Then it gives you 3 of them, and it gives you all the information you typed in, everything else you typed in. And so now you're ready to shoot. You can actually make these sight tapes go out to, let's see, I've been doing mine to about 120, but where is it at? Oh, right here, ending range in yards. So you can go, well, it says it's too large. It looks like I can get to about 240, 250 before it says, but for TAC I'll probably want to run about 120, 130, somewhere in there. And anyways, but then you can come in here, you can do air density cuts. I mean, I haven't even played with this whole website, y'all, but for you to get a custom sight tape and to be able to tinker with it and just print it off at your house is pretty awesome. So make sure you go check out Precision Cut Archery, and remember, nothing's impossible.